Millions saw the April fall, but only Isaac Newton who asked why. You see, leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. Coming up, NYDA board interviews raised some eyebrows when the candidate who was shortlisted for those interviews showed a lack of information or knowledge, not only of NYDA, but even the knowledge of the position they were being interviewed for. And of course, Sihle Lonzi didn't waste time to expose that embarrassment.
Stores in the ticket.
Oh, I don't know if. Oh, thank you. No, thank you very much, Tamsang Mahlangu. My name is Sihle Lonzi, Member of Parliament deployed by the Economic Freedom Fighters. I've just got one quick question for you. So the NYDA Act outlines the agency's responsibilities in as far as youth development is concerned. Now, given how the Act is so broad, how would you ensure that the NYDA policies and programs align with the legal framework outlined in the Act? And maybe try to give me some practical examples in as far as this relationship is concerned. Thank you.
Stores in the ticket. How the okay as your question was that how does since the NYDA Act is broad, how and it allows the responsibilities, how do I ensure that the programs it aligns with the legal framework?
Yeah, I'm trying to, maybe so that you understand it better, I'm trying to test your understanding of the relationship between the Act and its legal framework in as far as the work of the NYDA is concerned. And I want you to give me a practical example to that effect.
Okay. Okay, Stores, Honorable Sihle. And as far as the NYDA Act is concerned, especially with, I will firstly maybe take the root of its role in the development of, or rather the bridging between ensuring the rural communities participate, and since it's mandated by the national development plan to be the one an agency that incorporates it to ensure that it participates in that thing. So I think ilunga yisho manje ukuthi the NYDA okay. Honorable Sihle, can you please repeat that again? I'm not sure if I'm understanding it well. From how I'm understanding it, I think it may be different from what you're saying. Can you please?
Through you, Chair, if you allow. Oh, I'm trying to understand, my brother.
Yes.
If I'm just trying to find a simple way of explaining it to you. In as far as NYDA must fulfill its objectives, right?
Yes.
Youth development, the things that you would have mentioned here.
Yes.
Now, there's the NYDA Act, and then there's the legal framework of the NYDA Act. I want to know if you understand the relationship between those two, and if you can give me some practical example, even one, that demonstrates to us and the people of South Africa that you'll be serving, that you understand this relationship.
Okay. Okay, so from the as NYDA is mandated to obviously do the youth development, for me to answer this question, I am going to use that example of the rural being integrated into the okay, so the framework essentially is the skeleton, and then from the act itself, it's the policy, the legal framework will be yeah. Okay, let me just give this one. So from the people who are in the rural areas. Okay, Chair.
With 1 minute left for this question, unfortunately, sir.
Okay.
Guys, I'm very sorry. You knew I was going to laugh when it comes to this. But guys, this is so embarrassing. So my question is, well, if you don't know, guys, come on. This is how, even here, as I do this podcast, if I don't know something, I don't know. Why didn't the guy say no, look, dude, Mamela, Lonzi, say, I don't know. I don't know. Save us time, dude, instead of just making a fool of yourself like what you just did right now. Keep on rounding and rounding. Say, what you saying? Come on, just say I don't know, sir, and save us this waste of time and save yourself an embarrassment.
I think while you still apply your mind to that question, I'm going to ask the Honourable Tsotsetsi to come in, and maybe you can respond to both questions at the same time. Over to you, Honourable Member.
Chair, you're saying you must respond in my 7 minutes. Okay.
No, thank you, Chair. I've got a question, but I think consistent with the clarity that we wanted to ask from the other lady we brought back in, I think it's important that I ask this because I had an engagement with the content research advisor about it. But then I'll come in at the end for my question so that I don't disrupt the mood. The Parliament tried to find out the matric records and the diploma from the Zwelo University of Technology for my name is Sihle Lonzi, Member of Parliament, deployed by the Economic Freedom Fighters. We're happy that you are here, Mr. Malusi Zwelo Masilela. And because we struggled to verify, I think it is consistent and correct, as we did with other candidates, to maybe put it to the candidate immediately. When did you finish your diploma at the Zwelo University of Technology? When did you complete your diploma in journalism?
I've fully completed it in 2023. 2021. Sorry, my apologies. Yes.
All right, I'll come in at the end then, Chair, because I don't want to abuse, because the CV says you've completed it in 2011, and you are now saying you completed it in 2021.
Well, it might have been a type of error because the confirmation that I have of the qualification and the graduation thereof is of that particular year I'm indicating.
I'll do my follow-ups at the end, Chair, because there are problems related to that, because Mr. Masilela would have been a senior researcher in Mpumalanga, would have served in boards way before 2021, which would have needed at least a post-matric qualification for him to do that. But let's take the answers as it is. Thank you very much, sir.
Youth development, social development issues. So it's an either-or scenario. Either you've got the experience and the knowledge and the track record, or you hold the qualification in social development, HR, legal field, anything that can really advance the interests of the NYDA. Now, you hold a matric certificate, you hold a national diploma in journalism from the Zwelo University of Technology, which you obtained in 2021. You signed a declaration confirming that information. We also have a letter from the institution confirming that you met all the criteria for the qualification, but they were not able to verify your qualification. So just for clarity, just a clarity-seeking question maybe, what challenges arose between yourself and the university that they were not able to verify your qualification?
Thank you very much. I think I'm part of the statistics of South Africans that don't afford certain fees. So I owe fees to the Tswana University of Technology, which I'm in a process of finalizing. And that's the reason that why the university could not give me. So I'm just another South African youth who can't afford fees.
That is just the clarity that I was seeking.
Thank you very much.
Because that is the information. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to give us that information. Thank you. Over to you, Honourable Lonzi.
Chair, that point you are making now needs me a follow-up clarity before I go to my question. Because you are saying he signed a declaration confirming that he got his diploma in 2021, when his CV is saying he got his diploma in 2011. Perhaps when I ask my other questions, you can clarify it then in the end you can...
Yeah, I think he indicated that it was a typo. I think all of us made mistakes.
2011 and 2021 it was an error.
But it was a typo on the declaration?
Not declaration, the CV.
On the CV.
The declaration says 2021?
Yes. The university says 2021.
And I did
no, the declaration?
Yes.
All right. No, thank you, Chair. No, thank you very much, Mr. Melusi.
Chair, but can I also just raise a point of concern? You see, what the exercise which the honourable member is making now, we have done it earlier on with other candidates, but the distinct thing is that we would have done it in committee without them being there, because it has capacity to derail people and so forth. So I thought that I must just bring that up.
Yes.
Thanks.
No, I agree with you. That's why I wanted him to just tell us what the challenges are, because I think he's, like he says, he's one of the many in South Africa, many young people who could not afford to, I mean, there are many young people who've got outstanding fees, and I wanted, because I think, you know, we don't want a situation where he's accused of something, but I think the matter is clarified, so I want him to be able to proceed in a manner that's fair to all of us and him. But your concern is noted, Honourable Member. Please proceed, Honourable Lonzi.
No, I won't respond to that concern, Chair. So in 2024, Mr. Masilela, the NYDA Amendment Act introduced a new function in the agency's mandate. What is that function? I'm looking for the specific function that was introduced. I mean, that's 2024, so it's not very long ago. You wouldn't need to read far. And perhaps, how did that new function, which was introduced by the amendment, empower the NYDA in its ability to oversee and coordinate some of its programs? Thank you.
I think, thank you very much, Honourable Lonzi. I think one of I think, if I'm not mistaken, it is that of coordinating government sectors and formally now government sectors and all the other youth development structures. I think it's encapsulated in the integrated youth development strategy, but obviously as per the Amendment Act, which is that of bringing together now national youth development into one roof. And I think that's what the NYDA the amendment seeks to speak to, so that there is no confusion about the mandate of the NYDA, which is that of bringing together everybody and coordinating them and initiating programs for the youth of this country, for youth development.
Chair, maybe let me explain it differently, which is what I did with under candidates to help them. So there were 6 functions of the NYDA Act. Yeah. Then there was a 7th one, very specific function, which was introduced last year in 2024. It's not what you had mentioned before, but because even with other candidates, when they didn't get the answer, I came in to ask it differently. So I'd ask the question again. From 6, there's an additional function which has been added after the amendment in 2024, close to the end of the year last year. Are you aware of what that function is, and how did it assist the NYDA in better overseeing and coordinating its programs?
I would think that it is. I would think that I would have to really be referred back. I'm not quite sure what is that exact function, because I would have thought that it relates to coordination and all of that. But it seems it's not the case.
All right. No, thank you.
What shocked me, guys, was how basic were those questions. I believe that even Sihle Lonzi was surprised himself to say, "How, guys, those are basic questions," and I assume that really a person of this level at least should know. I believe that even Lonzi was surprised that, really, you haven't even started yet, and those questions are so basic that the person who really did whatever you claim to have done on your CV should know. So, guys, there were about 1,400 candidates who applied for the job, and only 20 were shortlisted. And they were from ANC Youth League. So, I think then the challenge and the problem rise and fall on those senior people who recruited or who shortlisted those 20 people who were interviewed in the parliament. Could it be that the people who were dismissed are even more qualified than the 20 that was shortlisted? Highly possible. And if you ask me, that's cadre deployment in its best by ANC. Now, do you see how ANC hates or doesn't care about the youth unemployment in this country? I don't believe that those candidates who were dismissed, who didn't make it for that short listing, are worse than the ones we saw now in the parliament. I don't believe that even a bit. So in that way, I totally agree with Naledi Chiro when she says those ones who were dismissed. It's highly possible that they were even more qualified than the ones who were in the parliament. Wow, ANC Mara, guys. And the DA guys in 2023, I remember very well, did raise this issue of NYDA being used by ANC to cadre deploy their members. I know, guys, I'm not a fan of a DA, but boy, oh boy, yeah, they were spot on.
National government, number one, must immediately scrap NYDA. NYDA is a 500 million rand milking cow, a slush fund of the ANC. For R500 million, the NYDA employs ANC cadres in high-paying jobs. Let me tell you something. The people who sit on that board get paid 500,000 in annum just to attend 10 meetings. Yet there are people who are like Tabang. NYDA does not create any real jobs for ordinary South Africans like me and you. It does not create any opportunities for the unemployed young South Africans. The NYDA does nothing for young people in rural communities. Abantu baseNgcobo nabaseLibode, it does nothing for them. It does nothing for unskilled young people. Its primary mandate is to develop and train those people so that they can be able to compete for opportunities. The only thing it does, they sip champagne and post on Instagram. We must be able to wage a fight that will be led in Parliament. And I'm saying it proudly because the caucus leader is here of Parliament, that the DA must be at the forefront of saying NYDA must be scrapped because it is a 500 million rand cash cow.
Now it's clear, guys, how ANC really doesn't care about the youth unemployment in this country. It's very, very, very clear. And what even shocked me further was Colin Malachi, when he tried to rise up and defend the ANC, when he started attacking Sihle Lonzi of the EFF for something that is so clear that really this is just purely incompetence. But he rose and defended it regardless. And when you try to listen to Colin Malachi, you're like, what is this guy saying, eh?
I think before the Act was amended in 2021, those who have worked in political offices know that in political offices there was not even interviews or many other things. You have just been called in and be deployed in the office to assist politically. And when you arrive there, you are given different roles. Now, Zwelo, like any other person was deployed in any political office, they were moved around in different roles. It was out of his control. There was nothing he was going to do. The best thing that he did was to also declare it. Because normally people will not declare, will say, if I'm employed as a PA, I remain there, even when you have been moved to another responsibility. But it's also said there in the interview that he complained formally that this responsibility you have given me is not in line with what I've applied for. Now, I think on that issue, the municipality will also respond on it. Those who have been deployed in political offices, they know it's nothing new. It happens all the time of movement of people in the structure, and that is resolved. And he has declared it. Even the chair of the committee says he has declared all of those matters. Now, it's not something that was hidden. But also, an interesting matter as done by the EFF is that those discussions, the committee says some of those things were processed in committee. Now, it was a populist stand by the EFF, but we expected them to act that way because, anyway, it's a TG of the Youth League that was interviewed. Now, it was a political opportunity for populist organization like the EFF to play to the gallery. And it's fine. They're doing their job. They're doing what they want to get their voters for. I'll act the same if I was them after losing such elections and the last election is not growing with a clear program that in 2026 there will not be EFF in this country because no one is going to vote for a populist organization like that one. They're highly rejected by everyone. They are frustrated. Now, they must do what they do best to try to survive. On the laying of charges, a corrupt organization like the EFF, led by corrupt CIC, goes and lays charges to protect about something that is not there. I'm saying that leader of the EFF, even today, we still don't know how he survived the case of money laundering, a case of corruption, a case of using a trust fund of his son, a child born, given a name is named for institution that will be utilized to steal from the poor in Limpopo. Now, the AFF is the last organization to speak about corruption, but the Private Protectors are a good institution. They must go there and do whatever, they must investigate, and we are clear that they'll get the right answers. But they don't have the credibility, the EFF, to be the ones that are seen to be respecting the constitution of the country or they are of high value. We know even in municipalities where they are given responsibility to govern, they've collapsed them. Now, it's a last organization to worry about them. We're not even worried about them. They must do what they do best. We'll also be on them. We know there are things very soon we'll be opening case against them also. It means the EFF and the Youth League will be busy in police stations very soon.
Because, believe me, what he just said there doesn't make sense at all. I don't know what Colin Malachi was trying to defend there at all. Attacking Malema, calling Malema corrupt and what? I mean, how does all that come in? I mean, why are you bringing Malema in all this? Here we're talking about the candidates who were shortlisted, but who couldn't cut it at all. And guys, in all this, I blame the senior people who recruited and, of course, shortlisted those people. I don't believe that those people were really worse than these ones. It can't get worse than this. Absolutely. Yeah, guys, in ANC, it's all about defend at all costs. And you end up defending nonsense. And guess who gets exposed? You as an ANC member, because if you ask me, this interview issue exposed Colin Malachi. Guys, you can even see that this cadre deployment in the ANC or within the ANC has been happening for years. Listen to this guy when he says, I was employed as a PA, but it is the department that said, no, look, we are deploying you to that particular position there. And I did tell them that, look, I'm not qualified to be a senior researcher for that matter. This position, guys, is a crazy position. And look at the money the guy was earning. That's a lot of money the guy was earning per month. Over $1 million a year. A guy who doesn't even, a guy who has a matric. Guys, ANC is taking us for a ride. And this thing has been happening for years. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, even if you wake me up at 2 o'clock and ask me, when did I finish my degree or diploma? I should definitely be in the position to remember. That tells you that this cadre deployment has been happening within the ANC for years. So really, nothing should shock us, really. And guys, I totally agree with Naledi Chirwa's and Malima's tweets. I totally agree with those tweets. Really, really, guys, the ANC is taking us for a ride, eh? Really, ANC is taking us for a ride. What do you think? Let me hear your comment below. And of course, if you are coming for the first time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.